What do you think affects how you behave? Here's why. If you're wondering, how can what I'm thinking affect my behaviour, then let me start by asking you a question. Have you ever heard of CBT? That stands for Cognitive Behavioural Therapy. CBT is a talking therapy. It's based on the principle that our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviour are all connected. CBT works by helping us notice, then change our thinking style or behaviour patterns that cause us problems. It's often used to treat anxiety and depression, but it's also really useful for all sorts of physical and mental health issues. So why am I talking to you about CBT therapy? Well, if you understand the basic principles of CBT, you will also understand why you might feel or behave in a certain way. This understanding can improve the way you approach life and who you become. Here's a simple example of what I mean. Have you ever woken up in the morning in a bad mood, feeling demotivated, miserable, and lethargic? If you've ever felt like that, how did you behave when you got up? Did you skip down the street smiling and laughing? I bet you didn't. More likely, you had a grumpy face, you were hard to communicate with, you were quiet, snappy, maybe unkind. So let's just turn that around and think about when you woke up in a great mood, excited, energized, full of beans, raring to go and get stuff done. In this mood, were you mean and spiky to people around you? Probably not. I expect you smiled and you had a spring in your step. The principles of CBT can help explain how these feelings you wake with and ruminate with all day long dictate your behaviour. They are inextricably linked. So let's start at the beginning. This oval represents your environment. Now, just for a minute, I want you to think about the environment around you, whether it's work or at home, it doesn't matter. So if it's at work and you're in an office, maybe you work in an office indoors, maybe you work outside, maybe you travel a lot, maybe you work from home. Is the place where you work comfortable and safe? Or is it an unsuitable or unhappy place? Before we get closer to understanding how your thinking and behaviour affects your life, think about this environment. Does this look like a place where you're likely to thrive? For me, I hate being in an office. I could never thrive in an office. When I step into an office, I kind of want to run straight out again because I prefer constantly changing environments. I like the outdoors. I like woods and forests. I also speak at conferences a lot, and weirdly, the stage has become a strangely comfortable working environment for me. I've also worked in a prison. I was coaching inmates to think about non-offending behaviour when they were released. I hope you've never been to one. They're horrible, depressing, basic, cold places. There are no comforts. Nothing is soft. It's a place where truly very few people are likely to thrive. So what is your environment like at work and at home? Is it ideal for you? Does it suit you? Does it look and feel like a place where you could thrive? Because you're never going to perform at your absolute best if you're in an unsuitable or uncomfortable environment. So number one, make sure your environment is somewhere where you think you can thrive. We all have millions of thoughts all day long, every day. Let's assume you wake up one morning all excited because you're going on holiday tomorrow. And what mood does that put you in? Well, I imagine you're going to be pretty excited and happy. Your behaviour will reflect this. You're relaxed, you're chatty, you're kind, you're helpful. And now what about your physical state? When you feel relaxed, chatty, kind and helpful, how does your body feel when you're in that state? So do you see how your thoughts will trigger your feelings and your mood? And then your mood triggers your behaviour, and your behaviour directly impacts your physical state. And this turns into the person you become. This happens in a constant cycle all day long. The thousands of thoughts you have all day, every day, trigger your mood and your behaviour, how you act and who you become. This has a knock-on effect on your body and your health. So let's just see what happens when you have an ugly negative thought. Something like, I'm dreading that presentation tomorrow. Everyone's going to laugh at me and I'm going to be rubbish. What mood does that put you in? Agitated, snappy, grumpy, miserable? Once you're in that mood, what happens to your behaviour? You're probably a bit abrupt with people. Maybe you go silent, slam doors. And then what happens to your physical state? You may feel tension in your neck or your shoulders or your back. You may feel nervous and get sweaty palms, faster heart rate, maybe even a headache. Once again, can you see how your initial thought affected your behaviour and your physical state? I really want you to start noticing your mood now and track it back to your thoughts. And this does take practice, but you'll start to become really aware of what you're thinking and how it affects your mood, your behaviour, your physical state, and the person you become. Once you're more aware of this, you're in a position to choose and to change. So, for example, if you ask yourself why you slammed that door, you feel grumpy or sad, you can track back the reason to your original thought. Can you see now why you need to be really mindful about what and how you think? Once you're aware of this connection between your thoughts, your mood, your behaviour, your body, you are in a great place to change things for the better and be the person you want to become. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click below. That'll alert you to new videos, details of the live events that you can attend and other updates. Of course, you can always check my website for more information.